Please welcome, standing at a staggering 6'4", weighing 500 kilograms, your defending champ of the World Series of Poker Mystery Millions. It's Happy Whale.
Alright, day 2 of the Mystery Mills beginning now. Got 1,045 people here wanting to win $1 million.
And last year, 3 people had the chance to win $1 million. There were 2 $1 million bounties in the pool. Let's see what's on offer this year. All right, there is $5.9 million total in the bounty prize pool. And similar to last year, there were 2 $1 million bounties and 1 $500,000. So 50 gold chests on offer. Can we hit one or run deep? Let's go. This is my day 2 table draw, and as far as mystery bounty day 2 table draws go, I've hit the absolute nuts. I'm sitting about 200k chips below average stack, yet somehow I cover 4 people at my table. There are around 1,050 people left with $5.9 million in the bounty pool, so each bounty is worth about $5,600. And with this knowledge, our strategy should change completely. And you're about to get a taste of just how bonkers we are meant to be. So let's get into the first hand. It folds around us and we limp the premium Queen 2 suited. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of limping here. This is the reason. The buy-in is $900 excluding rake. However, only $600 of the buy-in goes towards the prize pool. This means a starting stack is worth somewhere in the realm of $600 to $900. Let's call it $750. And as I said earlier, a bounty is worth about $5,600. So we divide it by the 750 and we come to each bounty being worth approximately 7.5 starting stacks or 300k chips. Now we have to have the mindset that every time we knock someone out, we win a bonus 300k chips. This is why I want to play as many hands as possible against people I cover, and I think about 95% of the field are going to be buffoons who do not play nearly aggressively enough, making my loose limps like Queen 2 suited even better. So after I limp, the cutoff thinks for a short time and then jams all in. Everyone else folds, and just doing some quick pot odds, we can see that I have such a slam dunk call here and why the limp strat works so well. I need to put in an extra 130,000 to win his 170,000, plus what's in the middle, which is actually 100,000, not 64,000. I forgot to turn on big blind ante, that's my mistake. And then the 40,000 in the middle, plus the 300,000 that the bounty's worth, giving me 130,000 to win 610,000, which is 4.7 to 1, which means I need about 17.5% equity to call. So unless he has aces, kings, or queens, which is super rare, I have a slam dunk call. So I do, and let's go to a flop. So when I called this, I was like, just don't be dominated. Don't be dominated. Not only am I not dominated, I'm ahead. He jammed Jack 10 off here, and my Queen 2 suited just needs to hold for a $5,500 bounty and a whole bunch of chips. Hold the baby.
All right, the flop comes out, and it is Queen 10-6. We're still the massive equity favorites. He just needs a 10 or a Jack now. Turns a king, a little bit scary, gives him some more outs. Now an ace or a 9, and he is the winner. Bang, river's the 4 of clubs, we pick up the first bounty, and we pick up a lot of chips.
Shortly after we pick up our first bounty, our next bounty opportunity presents itself when it folds around to Vlad, a nice guy from Russia who I'd been chatting to a little bit. He jams for 350k. Now I assume his range is going to be relatively tight because I'm going to be calling extremely wide in a mystery bounty. However, ace 7 off is an absolute premium here. I'm probably calling close to any 2, and seeing an ace is an absolute dream here. So let's see what Vlad has and go to a flop. He turns over the extremely surprising Jack 4 off, and we go straight to the flop. The flop comes 7-5 deuce, amazing flop giving us top pair. Now he can only hit a Jack to save him. The turn brings the 6 of diamonds, which is now a little bit scary. Any 8 or 3 will give him a straight for the win. But the river bricks out, pairing the board. Looks a little bit scary at first, but we pick up our second bounty and go over $1 million in chips. Sitting on 1.1 mil now, folds around to me and I look at what every poker player loves to see, and it's a beautiful red pocket rockets. I limp, similarly to how I'm limping Queen 2 suited. I'm limping range, especially when I cover a bunch of people behind, and it folds around to the button, who not only raises, he doesn't call either, he just decides to go all in for over 40 big blinds, which you really shouldn't do with any hands you're holding. But it's the absolute dream for me with aces, and I don't expect him to actually have this hand, but he does have pocket kings, and we go to a flop. Hard to see the flop straight away with my big fat text in the middle, but it is not one, but two aces, and we flopped the kings absolutely stone dead. He does pick up the king on the turn as well, so thank goodness we hit that on the flop. And yeah, we pick up a monstrous pot. Don't get his bounty because he had a big stack and had us covered, but that is huge. Here we go again. I don't remember how this hand played out, so we'll just cut straight to the action. I have ace-9 and I get it in against king-queen and king-8 suited. I just got to hold for 2 bounties and a decent-sized pot. Flop comes jack-7-6. Beautiful start. We just got to hold. There's a lot of backdoors that they can pick up on the turn. Absolutely stunning card to see, the 3 of hearts. Now we just got to hold. Dealer taking their time a little bit, and unreal. 3 of spades, huge pot, 2 bounties. Let's go. We're cooking so hard. Similarly to the last 10, I don't exactly remember the action, so we're just going to cut straight to it. I have ace-8 of clubs versus king-jack of clubs. Really nice 60-40 favorite here. Flop comes picture, but we're good. It's queen 6-6. Turn, can we brick? It is the 10. He picks up a few more outs, but we're in a really nice spot for a nice pot and a bounty. Oh, ace on the river. Bit of a needle, but we've been running so fucking hot. We're bound to lose one eventually.
All right, jumping into the next hand here. The button opens off about 20 big blinds. I have jack-5 of diamonds in the big. I'm going to be playing very, very aggressively in a mystery bounty here, so I expect the villain to be opening very tight because he's already meant to be pretty tight off 20 big blinds anyway. It's very easy for me to see an ace and just zip it in. Plus, that it being a mystery bounty, I'm going to be even wider. So, nonetheless, we go to a flop of jack-2-3 with a flush draw potential. I check, villain checks back. So, I'm pretty confident I have the best hand here, and I do elect to bet 2/3 on the 4 of hearts turn, 2 flush draws available, and our villain does something very surprising. He just goes all in for a big size. Now, I am a little bit cautious of some hands, potentially like 5-6, ace-5, that might play this way. I don't think pocket 4s really fits into this category. Nonetheless, I do have to call here because there are a lot of draws possible, and even if he does have something like, I don't know, jack-10, I still have a bunch of outs with the up and down to go with. And I see like pretty much the best possible news here. The river bricks out, and he'd already showed me 6-4 of clubs. So really good news. I pick up a really nice pot and also win his bounty.
So here we go, 3 mil plus a bounty pot, and boom, the flop is as good as I asked for. My ace king of hearts versus pocket 8s, and it comes ace heart heart. He's drawing nearly dead, and we do scoop this one. Couldn't have asked for a better start. I'm absolutely ripping and tearing through this field. Now I'm up to 10x what I started with, and 6 bounties. Speaking of those bounties, it's time to go open them. And unfortunately, Cooper went just before me, and the guy in between us, there were 2 people in between us. One of them got a gold chest, but I have 4 bounties coming up. I'll let you know how they go. So I pulled my biggest ever bounty at the World Series of Poker across the last 2 years. But it was $2,500, nothing too crazy, and then 3 minimum bounties. But I'm already off to a better start than I was last year. It was a bit late to get this video going, but it was Scotty flipping again. It's my 8 against his ace-queen suited. He does hit his queen, and we don't improve. So we miss out on another juicy pot and a bounty there, but can't win them all, as I said earlier. Think I would have been chip leader if I won that pot. Regardless, still 2x average in an amazing spot for the back-to-back. Didn't film the 1K just before this one, but this one's coming up, and 2.5K. There we go. This adorable lady jams all in on the button for 6 big blinds and looks horrified when I call her off with king 8. And we river the king on her, do her dirty, and take her bounty and her chips. So we're up to 5.6 mil, doing great. Okay, I open, the cutoff calls, and then the big blind just decides to jam 40 big blinds. And I have ace king. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is going to be a huge pot. Most likely we have the same hand, but somehow we don't. He has ace queen, and we go to a flop. All right, here we go. Monster pot. The flop comes 10-3-10, and we are in the lead by a huge margin. However, he can pick up a 3 to chop the pot. Here comes the turn. Turn to king. Now it looks really, really good for us. However, it gives him more outs, and he can pick up. All right, here comes the river. Queen. Phew, thank goodness we hit that king on the turn. Monster pot could take us into the chip lead. 200 people left, and I am probably the chip leader. I am winning this tournament. Mark my words, I'm going to get this back-to-back. 2 hours later, and we've lost nearly half the players, but my chip count has stayed about the same, so I'm no longer Omega chip lead, but I'm still sitting comfortably nearly 2x average. Sucked out on a cheeky pot with ace-3 versus ace-8-0 for another bounty. We keep winning. Final 69 players now. It's getting serious, but I've now dwindled down to average stack. Just haven't had the cards to play, but we're locked up 14 grand. Next pay jump hit, we've locked up 17.6k, and there's 59 left. Hit a nice juicy suck out with Queen Jack suited versus King Queen for a small pot, but a bounty nonetheless, and we get closer to average.
All right, finally onto the next big hand history. Ever since 200 left, I've just been extremely card dead, hence the lack of hand histories and big hand updates. My stack's always dwindled around to like 11 mil, like 14 to 11 mil. But anyway, we get a hand ace 10-0. We raise here into the big blind of the worst player I have probably ever seen in the World Series, and that is saying something. He practically tapes his cards outwards on his foreheads and tells you what he has, which is a little bit of foreshadowing on how I play this hand later on. Anyway, he checks, I bet small, he calls. Turn is a 10, absolute gin, unless he has like, you know, the 7-9, but even that might fast play at this short stack depth. And he checks over to me, I bet 4 mil. And if he doesn't jam, I just know that I have the absolute nuts. He calls, so I'm like, phew. And there's a lot of draws possible on the board, so I'm hoping for a brick. It's not a brick, it's a 9. But a previous hand that I saw him play, he rivered a flush, he donk jammed. He rivered a straight, he donk jammed. So I was like, cool. He checks over to me, and I just assume I have the best hand. Now, it's really greedy to go for value. I should really only have jam or check here as like a size, but I try and eke out an extra 5 milli or so. And unfortunately, he calls very quickly, and I just run into the 2 pair that did check the river. So kind of mistake there, but would I change how I played? Maybe, because the extra 5 mil is so valuable to have in my stack. Now I'm down to 3 big blinds, and it's pretty rough. So the very next hand, I wake up with 10-7 of spades under the gun. And as far as under the gun, 3 big blind hands go, 10-7 of spades. It could be a lot worse. I have to go all in because the next hand I'm going to be the big blind and lose a third of my stack just to the ante. I jam, and then someone in middle position calls, and the big blind completes. The flop comes queen, queen 2, 1 spade. Not exactly what I want to see, but people start checking down. Turns a 9 of spades, bringing some life to me. And the river is the jack of spades, and I have a huge sigh of relief. I almost always have the best hand, and it checks down. Somehow one of them had a queen that just decided to check the whole way down, and I managed to scoop, and I'm staying alive, baby, above 10 big blinds yet again.
All right, we're down, not out, 8.5 mil, just one double, and we get super close to average. Guy on my left gets in a monster pot, and before he goes all in, he asks if he can borrow my lucky duck. I say sure. He insta jams all in, then gets in a 4-way pot and holds with his kings. Let's go the lucky duck.
All right, now this hand is the most painful hand I've ever had at the World Series of Poker, and that's saying something. So old mate, who took most of my chips in the ace-10 offhand versus 9-8, limps in the cutoff. He'd been doing a lot of limping, and it folds around to me in the small blind. Premium for under 10 big blinds here. We jam our ace-9 suited for our remaining 7 milli, and now it folds back onto old mate. He thinks and hums and haws for about 40 seconds before I noticed that the dealer has started washing the deck already, getting ready for the new hand. He obviously hasn't realized that old mate still has cards and is still thinking, and the whole table kind of freaks out a little bit, and we go, hang on, can we get the supervisor? The supervisor comes over and he gives his ruling as, okay, the mucked cards have been mixed in with the real deck, therefore it's a void hand. We're going to refund everyone their chips. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go, buddy. You can't void a hand once someone's been all in and there's significant action. Nonetheless, couldn't really contest it. There were no other supervisors around, and we just chopped the pot fully. Old mate, if he acted quicker, I'm sure I would have got all the chips in play. Really unfortunate hand. Here we go, on to the next hand, and there's about 28 people left at this point. We wake up with 10-9 of spades after it's been folded around to us on the button, and for 6.5 big blinds, we are very happy to put this one in, being the natural 9. Unfortunately, we get snapped by the big blind. He's got a premium, and we're up against pocket queens to a flop. Let's go.
Hard to make out, but the flop is king 9-5. No backdoor draw for us, but we need a 9 or a 10 to stay in the tournament. The turn is the 6 of spades. Come on, 9 or 10, keep us in the game. And the river, oh, it's the queen. and it hits him.
There go the hopes and dreams of the back-to-back cash for 32k, but at least we have 2 bounties to open. There's one 10k and 2 25k gold chests. Let's see what we're gonna get. I'm off to go open them now.
I'm really not sure why the reaction videos are this tame. I remember it being a really hype moment with me, my friends, and my girlfriend all going in to hug each other, celebrating that even though I just busted, I pulled 35k. For the 10k video, I have a little bit of an idea where the reaction just came after the video. And then for the 25k video, I think what it was, I already knew it was going to be the gold 25k chest. And this video I found was just the gold chest turning into 25k, which I already knew would happen. I've scoured my phone and I just really can't find the initial reaction video, which is a big shame. But nonetheless, there are those 2 bounty pulls and couldn't have asked for a better way to celebrate busting a tournament.
I ended up cashing $79,300 total. Big thanks to those 2 big bounties at the end there. If I didn't pull those, the score would have been significantly smaller. Because there were only 25Ks left, they actually said I didn't have to open it and I could just keep it sealed. So I chose to do so as a nice little souvenir. I still have it to this day, and someday I'll be able to get it out, crack it open, and see the $25,000 that I pulled when I was much younger and get a nice, nostalgic, beautiful memory.
So that was my 2025 Mystery Millions experience. I had a lot of fun reliving those moments in the editing process, and no back-to-back, but you bet I'll be going to Vegas next year and trying to go for that back to 28th to back. And hopefully I'll have another better video for you next year. I already have one lined up. It is a mystery bounty, so let me know if you guys like these sort of videos. I will continue to produce them. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.